Now we're going to have a look at the day's top business news. Brian Quinn is with us today. He's starting with the ongoing global economic fallout from the war in Iran. Travel industry in particular really starting to feel the effects now, Brian.
It is indeed, Stuart. Airlines say they're facing skyrocketing fuel costs amid severe volatility on crude oil markets since the start of the war. Delta Airlines' fuel bill is set to rise by $400 million this month alone, while American Airlines is expecting a similar hit for the first quarter overall. Here in Europe, the price of jet fuel has roughly doubled. In Asia, it's up some 80%, and that's pushing some airlines to cancel flights, including Scandinavia's top carrier SAS. Many of the costs are being passed on to passengers via fuel surcharges and higher fares. Travel demand, though, is remaining high heading into the Easter season. And while Middle Eastern tourism hotspots like Dubai and Egypt are seeing a wave of cancellations as Western governments urge their citizens to avoid the region, European destinations could be getting a boost. UK travel agency Thomas Cook says bookings for Portugal were up more than 40% for the first half of March. Travel agents say Iranian attacks on key airline hubs in the Gulf, meanwhile, are even turning travelers away from Asian destinations.
The main effects we've seen are cancellations, obviously, and a change of destination. Normally, people really like traveling to the Asia region, but since they usually have to stop over most of the time in the Emirates area, they're choosing another route or other destinations, whether national, on the American continent, or in Europe.
Well, how's it all affecting the markets? What's the latest, Brian?
Oil prices actually easing a bit on Wednesday, sir, despite ongoing Iranian attacks on the oil infrastructure of U.S. allies in the Gulf. Rising American stockpiles are helping to ease pressure on crude prices. International benchmark Brent crude sinking back below $102 per barrel, while its U.S. counterpart WTI drops some 2.8%. Asian stock indexes made some significant gains on Wednesday. The Nikkei in Tokyo up nearly 2.9% as the latest trade data out of Japan shows February exports up more than 4% over last year. The Kospi in Seoul up 5% as Korean chipmakers Samsung and SK Hynix make big gains on projections of a continuing AI boom. Here in Europe, it's a mostly positive open for markets as investors await interest rate policy decisions from a number of central banks this week. Notably, the U.S. Federal Reserve is expected to hold its rates steady at its presser later this evening in Washington, though analysts say that the Fed could signal rate hikes to come as rising energy costs are expected to drive accelerating inflation. Take a listen here.
The Fed historically has not tried to battle higher oil prices, believing them to be more of a temporary phenomenon. The questions for the Fed remains, does core inflation start to perk up again? And do we start to see an impact on the labor market? I think the good news for now is coming into this conflict, we had stabilizing inflation and a steady labor market.
And finally, for business from Brian, Seoul is gearing up for an economic boost. This is the world's biggest K-pop group, of course, making its big return. I bet you can't wait, Brian.
Hotly anticipated, both of us, no doubt, Stuart, holding our breath for this. Saturday, we'll see the return of BTS to the stage.
Hurrah.
The superstar boy band members absent from the global pop scene for 4 long years as they completed their mandatory military service for their native South Korea. Some 250,000 fans are expected to attend the open-air concert in Seoul. The event is set to boost not just tourism figures, but sales across a wide spectrum of the consumer economy. France 24's Koi Bonyon and Justin McCurry report on the BTS effect.
The South Korean capital Seoul has been decked out in BTS colours in anticipation of the band's return. The excitement can be felt even at convenience stores, which are expecting shoppers to snap up BTS branded items. This cafe, located in a former dormitory where the 7 band members lived together at the beginning of their careers, is now a pilgrimage site for fans, and more are expected as the country gears up for the K-pop superstars to reform.
With the BTS concert, we expect a significant influx of customers to our cafe, even in the days before and after.
Maxine discovered BTS 5 years ago. She's a member of ARMY, the name BTS fans have given themselves. She recently arrived in Seoul to study Korean.
They're coming back after the military, after 2 years. We waited 2 years and it was really long, so now we're just incredibly excited. We can't wait anymore.
The BTS effect is already being felt around Gwanghwamun Square, where the group will perform. Hotels are fully booked, with fans from all over the world expected to descend on Seoul in the coming days.
With BTS's Arirang World Tour starting in April, revenue generated from concert-related spending alone is estimated to reach around $1 billion. And for South Korea, there will also be an impact on exports of consumer goods, which could reach $2 billion.
The wait is almost over. South Korea is ready to ride the BTS wave again.
Big event there, Stuart. I'll make sure to call you to wake you up in case you're...
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I know you've got your ticket already, Brian. He's on his way. He's on his way out the door. And mind